If you wonder how these institutions of higher learning have gotten so perverted in what they're teaching, and they're turning out students that hate America, hate Israel, and hate Jews, we're going to show you what happened at Yale and the nexus between the money that came in and the perversion they're teaching in the classroom. Claire Lopez, Yale University, which has its own series of We Hate America, We Love Hamas demonstrators, is now in trouble for failing to disclose some serious influence money coming from Qatar, the home of, well, the bad guys running Hamas. And it's to the tune of $15 million that they didn't disclose. And it appears there are federal reporting requirements for these universities to tell the public where their influence money is coming from. $15 million, if you figure you pay a professor $100,000 a year, buys a lot of professorial influence. It seems that they have gotten, well, it says $15,900,000 over the last several years. They only reported one grant of $284,000, and they kept the rest a secret. It sure seems like the $5.6 billion that has now been disclosed that went to 61 universities like Stanford, Yale, Harvard, Cornell, and so on, has bought a whole lot of influence. And we wonder why the kids in the college campuses, especially in the quads and their tents, hate Israel, hate Jews, and hate America.
Yeah, it is not only Qatar, of course, although this, particular lump sum of donation that was kept from the federal authorities did come from Qatar. But in addition, you've got an awful lot of incoming funding from Saudi Arabia. But I would also mention another place that I think has an influence, and I don't know that it's necessarily financial, but that is Turkey. The AKP, or Justice and Development Party regime of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, has close association, really close and long-standing relationships with the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States, couple of whose front groups, Muslim Student Association and Students for Justice in Palestine, the campus branch of the American Muslims for Palestine, are closely associated with that regime. So it's both financial and otherwise.
In one article I looked at, it said that they've gotten $375 million, I mean just Yale, in grants and mutual research projects. I can't even imagine, and I'm being facetious because it's obviously not true, that it doesn't come with strings attached. Like you just said, the Muslim Brotherhood wants a worldwide caliphate. They promote that every day. That means the end of Judaism, the end of Christianity. Or if you and I are able to survive under their regime, we become second-class citizens and don't have rights that the full-class citizens like Muslims have. I'm stunned that this has been covered up without any governmental response. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, here's another aspect of this that is also not much spoken of, if at all, and that is that the Turkish government owns and operates a 16-acre site in Lanham, Maryland, about a dozen miles north of the capital in Washington, D.C., and it's called the Diyanet Center of America. Now, that is a cabinet-level department, religious affairs department of the Turkish government, and that particular site in Lanham, Maryland, is not all that far from the Adams Center in Northern Virginia. ADAMS is for All Dulles Area Muslim Society Center near Dulles Airport. That is where the coordination goes on in that respect, at least, I think, between the Turkish government and the Muslim Brotherhood front groups in America. And it's just simply ignored by academia, media, government, all of the above.
And when you talk about it like that, with that inside information that you have, it's not stunningly surprising anymore, Claire, that the "we hate America" and "we hate Western religion" is being taught in the schools. The money comes with obligations.
Yeah, and it's not just, I'm saying, a financial set of ties, but I think it's also ideological. There is a confluence of thinking, of worldview among these parties, meaning the Turkish regime, the Muslim Brotherhood in America, and the top academic leadership, especially of Muslim or Islamic studies departments and so forth in these universities. They're aligned, ideologically aligned. The money helps, but there's an ideological component, I think, that's very strong.
We need to talk about this relentlessly. It's not a surprise. It's not a coincidence. It didn't just happen. It was planned and bought and paid for. And the sellers are the American universities.